Hello, it's me, Tara. Welcome to my live. Thank you for hopping on. It is a snowy day. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can see. Well, you can kind of see it's a snowy day, but it's beautiful out. It's going to be just fine. It's winter, right? Well, anyway, let me go ahead and hop back in. I just want to express something. I was watching today's Ray Daly, and I got inspired, of course. I usually do. Ray Higdon is an incredible amount of inspiration for me. He's the type of person that I'm talking about in the title of this. Be the reason that someone's inspired to be more. But I wanted to touch on something that he discussed that, I experienced down at Rankmaker's Life and experienced for a while. A few years ago, I found a business that was based on like personal development. It was really great. It was phenomenal. Things went wrong with it, and it ended up not being a forever thing, which is a shame, but it's okay because we learn from everything, right? And we move on and we take what we need from things. During that time, I had the opportunity and the blessing to learn from Mark Hoverson. And what's relevant about that to this is Mark Hoverson, if you don't know who he is, he experienced a tremendous amount of adversity throughout his entire life, not just at the end of his life. He overcame alcoholism. He overcame poverty. He was living on, him and his family, him and his wife were living on, every kind of public assistance that there is. And he made a decision one day that he wasn't going to do that anymore. He felt like a failure. He knew that he wanted to give something more to his children, and he started becoming a legacy-based person. He reached out and got himself a coach. He learned as much as he could about everything that he could, as fast as he could, and he put it to work. And during the time that I knew him was about right when he first got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I'm pretty sure, no, it wasn't pancreatic cancer. I don't know the name of the cancer, whatever it was. He wasn't talking about it, didn't tell anybody about it, and he just went on doing the legacy thing. And during that time, I really learned how to dream. I learned how to think bigger than my own personal limitations and the things that I say to myself. For instance, I heard this today when I was watching a video with Noah St. John, and he said, whatever you say after the word because, you will defend to the death even if you don't want that. So Mark opened me up for that. He opened me up to the place where I could go ahead and dream the wildest dreams and give myself permission to do so. And because of that learning and training, and I go back to it all the time, and I'm constantly, inspired by it, I got to the place where I am now. I got to go to the Rankmakers Live, which was amazing. And I actually took a picture. There was a poster with him in it. And I, if it weren't for him, I would have quit long ago. If it weren't for him, my daughter wouldn't be watching me make it happen. Because there's nothing worse in the world than leaving your children or the people, hey, Michael, the people that maybe you don't even know you're inspiring, to be a person of talk and not of action, to be a person that wants something but doesn't do the things to get it. The worst thing that you could do as your legacy is not live up to what it is that you're here for, because we're here for some great stuff. So I wanted to tell you or encourage you to go out there and look it up on Google. There's a couple of names I could look up. I could tell you right now that Ray had recommended. There's a Viktor Frankl. He survived the Holocaust, and he wrote a book about it. I have not read the book, but when Ray refers to it, he's like, that gives me the reason why every day, Brene Brown, there's a Netflix special. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it today. It's amazing. Mark Hoverson, Harriet Tubman. I mean, could you imagine being somebody that does it anyway, despite the circumstances, will inspire people to be more for themselves. You'll inspire people to touch on what the things that they want, and hopefully they'll actually take the action so that they're another person, yet another person to inspire others. So Let me see. I have some notes. I want you to remember this, and this is something again I heard from Noah St. John today, and his story was interesting. Let me go ahead and say that he grew up kind of like I grew up. I grew up in a really rich neighborhood, but we were like the maybe closest to the poorest people in town, and so did he. He grew up in Kennebunk, Maine. I grew up in the Hamptons, and we were both very aware of the line between the haves and the have-nots. And lucky for him, he was different than me. He was a researcher, so he just went to the library and started reading about people that had success, that overcame adversity, and that it just set him off on a whole nother course in life. And this is something that he shared today he shared it yesterday. I watched it today. And this is something that you could really take to heart and realize that you may have really big visions, but if you don't do anything about them, you just don't really get there. And this is what he said. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You sink to the level of your systems. So if your systems are not in alignment with those goals, if you're not, say if you're running a small business, if you're not, a micro entrepreneur like me with a home-based business, if you're not reaching out to people and seeing if they're open, you're not going to get people to be open. If you're not going to market, you're not going to, hello Joyce, if you're not going to think about the personal development that you need to do every day, or say you want to lose weight and you're not taking your supplements and going for that walk and eating the way that you want to eat that gives you the most energy and happiness, if those systems aren't there, you're not going to succeed in your goals. You can wish all you want, but it's super important that you continue to put one step in front of the other, stop beating yourself up, and allow yourself to be open to the prosperity and the love and the joy and the freedom that's yours to have. You just got to go ahead and get it. Okay? So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you so much. If you're open to seeing some of my method of operations every day, I'll send it to you. Maybe it'll give you some ideas on how you can start setting up systems that are going to help you achieve the things that you want, because whatever it is that you desire, whatever it is that you find value in, it's important that you nurture it, and you nurture it with your actions, and then you will have everything you've ever dreamed of. I love you very much. I'll see you on the other side. Bye.